Today I'm reviewing the ASUS ROG G700, 2026, gaming desktop with an Intel Core Ultra 7265KF processor, NVIDIA GeForce RTX 5070, 32GB of DDR5 RAM, and a 1TB PCIe 4.0 NVMe SSD. If you want to check current pricing or availability, it's linked below. I've been using this system on my desk as a daily driver for gaming, multitasking, content creation, and everyday workflows. These impressions come from actual use in real scenarios, not just looking at a spec sheet. Let's set expectations early. This isn't a compact mini PC or an ultra-high-end enthusiast rig. It's positioned as a solid mainstream desktop that aims for dependable 1080p gaming performance, capable 1440p play, and practical everyday responsiveness. If your priority is raw 4K ultra performance at max settings across every title, that's not exactly where this config lives. In most 1080p gaming sessions, pairing the RTX 5070 with the Core Ultra 7 gives you smooth, generally consistent performance. Competitive titles and modern AAA games at high settings feel stable, with frame pacing that stays controlled even through long play sessions. It doesn't chase synthetic benchmark peaks, it focuses on predictable performance as you play. When stepped up to 1440p, the experience remains playable with sensible graphical tuning. Demanding games may require minor adjustments to textures or shadows to keep frame rates smooth, but that's in line with what you'd expect from this GPU tier. It feels practical rather than stretched. Thermals and noise are important on a desktop like this. Under sustained gaming and heavier workloads, the cooling keeps temperatures in reasonable ranges. I didn't observe persistent thermal throttling, and fan noise under load stays steady rather than spiking unpredictably. In lighter everyday tasks like browsing and content work, it settles into a quiet baseline that fades into background noise. The 32GB of DDR5 memory gives breathing room for multitasking. Running a browser with many tabs alongside chat apps, creative tools, and games doesn't push the system into constraint. That amount of RAM feels sensible for users who switch between tasks without wanting to bump into memory pressure. With a 1TB PCIe 4.0 NVMe SSD, everyday responsiveness feels brisk. Boot times are quick, app launches are snappy, and game load screens feel short. For many users, that's enough space for a robust library of titles, though larger collections might prompt occasional storage management over time. Build quality feels thoughtful for its class. The chassis has a purposeful ROG aesthetic that doesn't feel overdone, and cable management on my unit was tidy out of the box. Setup was straightforward and Windows boots without fuss. Now let's talk positioning. If you enjoy building your own PC and tuning parts around exact preferences, DIY builds can sometimes let you squeeze a bit more performance per dollar or allocate differently. That's a valid route in this segment. Pre-builts like this trade some budget flexibility for convenience and tested compatibility. Compared with gaming laptops in a similar performance bracket, this desktop avoids the thermal and power constraints that compact mobile designs typically face. Sustained performance feels steadier because it doesn't have tight chassis airflow or power ceilings. This system makes the most sense for buyers who want solid 1080p gaming with capable 1440p play, run everyday productivity alongside gaming, prefer a turnkey desktop rather than building one, value balanced performance and practical memory/storage from day one. If maximum 4K performance without compromise is the sole goal, you're likely looking at a higher GPU tier entirely. Here's the bottom line. The ASUS ROG G700, 2026, delivers stable, balanced gaming and everyday performance in a full-size desktop. It doesn't chase exaggerated claims, it feels intentional for typical gaming and mixed-use setups. Check current pricing below and evaluate it against your needs.